I thought you might be sick of seeing me in pretty much the same place all the time. So I thought, maybe my piano would make a good backdrop for making this video. I hope it's relatively stable because I'm actually sitting on the floor with the computer on my legs. So I hope I can sit still enough so you don't get a rocking effect as we go on. Because you know I have to keep my hands moving in front of the camera so that it doesn't go blank. So anyway, that's where I am. Okay, so far so good. You very much got the idea of setting. One of the parts that seemed to slip past a lot of you is the idea that you could have said something like, if this story took place in the summertime in Alaska instead of in the wintertime, it could have been completely different. Or if this story had taken place in Florida instead of in Alaska, it could have been completely different. Because those things are also all part of setting, okay? As I said before, setting is really multifaceted. I'm moving too much with this on my legs, so let me put it on a stool here and see if we can do better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So, setting is really multifaceted. And so all of those things are a part of setting. But you all got the idea that setting involves a lot of stuff. I mean, just imagine, I could have said, and it's actually an idea that hit me, but it's not a creative writing class, so I didn't want to do it. But, I could have said to you, rewrite this story to build a fire in a different place, a different time period, a different century. You rewrite it as if it were happening today, and find a different place for it, because all of that stuff is part of setting. Anyway, okay, so enough about setting. You get the idea that it's really, really multifaceted. But wouldn't it have been fun to rewrite that story? Where some guy maybe gets lost in the woods, in the mountains somewhere or something, rather than struggling for survival in 75 below zero, struggling for survival in the mountains out west, in the Rockies or something. Actually, I'm getting carried away here. But my older brother flew for the Navy. In fact, he flew with the Blue Angels. And before he could fly those planes, they had to go through survival training. So he actually had to get dropped in the middle of a forest in the middle of nowhere out in the Rockies, and make it on his own for 3 or 4 days, with basically almost no food, finding whatever food he could find there and all that kind of stuff. So he went through that survival stuff, as wild and crazy as that seems. Anyway, okay, enough of that. We want to talk about theme, okay? Let me start talking about theme by saying this. Too often, people try to capsulize theme into a single word. Doesn't work. Theme isn't a single word. Theme is big. Theme is really the reason why somebody wrote a story. Theme is the main idea in a story, okay? So theme is big. You can't do theme in a single word. You can't do theme in a single sentence. Theme takes a good bit to really explain what it's all about, okay? So in your upcoming essays, when you try to capsulize theme, don't capsulize it too small. Capsulize it by expanding it, okay? So again, like what was the author trying to say? What was the author's important point here? What was bugging the author that he needed to get out to you? So if we were to look at theme in To Build a Fire, okay, certainly man versus nature would be part of the theme. Certainly, mankind listening to more experienced people would be part of the theme. Certainly, being totally aware of your surroundings would be part of the theme, because that guy might have survived had he not tried to build his fire under a tree that had all sorts of snow on it, and the heat from the fire caused the snow to fall and put out the fire. Okay, so being aware of what's in nature might be part of it. Being smart enough to make good decisions might be part of it. I mean, let's face it, if it's going to be 75 below zero, who the heck do you think you are to go by yourself? Think about that. 75 below zero. The slightest little thing happens. It's so easy to find something to just slip on at 75 below zero, because everything is frozen so solid that it's all like ice covered, So that kind of thing, being willing to say, you know what, the smart move here is don't go, okay? Is that part of theme, okay? Being willing to say, maybe tomorrow will be a little bit better weather day, so having a little bit of foresight, is that part of the theme, being willing to say, you can't panic, you have to keep your world together, is that part of the theme, there are so many aspects from to build a fire that could go into writing the theme. And again, you can't do that in a single word. You can't do that in a single sentence. It would really take a whole paragraph to develop that theme, okay? Because theme is also not a single word, as I said earlier, okay? And I told you setting is multifaceted. In a certain sense, theme is multifaceted too, because we have, in a sense, the point of the story. We have the reason the author wrote it. We have, in a sense, what was bugging the author to write it. We have the actions of the characters which help define it. So all of those things go together into developing theme, okay? So, when you think about theme, don't think simple. Don't look for single word themes. Look for things that help. And you might even look in terms of universals. Look in terms of big picture stuff. Does a theme have to be a big picture thing? Not necessarily, but big picture things certainly can be part of theme, as is man versus nature. That's a theme that, in a sense, we live with every day. And in our ecological world today, that's a pretty significant theme, okay? But it's really a theme that's always been here. I mean, if mankind weren't aware of the world around him, we wouldn't have gotten this far. You think back to people who lived in caves, and they had to be aware of what was going on. Or we think of the nomadic tribes that first inhabited this continent, and in general, they didn't stay the same place all the time, okay? They were nomadic tribes, so they roamed, most of them roamed with the weather, So theme is all of these things, a whole lot of facets put together, okay? So here's your video question for this week, okay? See if you can capsulize in 2 or 3 sentences the reasons why your story is what it is. Your story right now is that you are a student at Trocaire College, okay? But see if you can capsulize what your personal theme is. That will help you better understand what this whole idea of theme is all about. Because again, theme isn't a single word. It isn't a single sentence. Frequently, it's not even a single paragraph, okay? So hopefully you get a better understanding of what theme is supposed to be. And so don't try to do it in a single word or a single sentence or a single paragraph. Okay. So you guys are great. You're doing great. I am impressed with you, and I really hope that somewhere not real far down the road we can find a way to get together. Now that COVID restrictions are changing, and I'm not sure about the school allowing us to do this yet, but we might be able to get together sometime soon. Like I'd bring pizza or whatever, and we'd get together and have dinner or something, or lunch or whatever, so that we could all get together and meet each other, because I want to meet you guys. I mean, I know 3 or 4 of you already, but I'd love to meet all of you, because the 3 or 4 that I know are really, yeah, at least 4 are really wonderful people, and I'd love to meet the rest of you too. Okay, and I'd love you all to meet each other. It'd be great. So anyway, keep up the great work. You guys are really making me proud with the work you're doing. So we'll see you again soon.